You asked, we listened. Here we go again. My name is Jess.
My name is Hannah.
And this month we read The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. And so this is another requested read. This book was requested by Allison at Allison's_library. And this is a book that I have literally been trying to get Hannah to read for at least 3 years now. So, Allison, you backed me up in the best way. Thank you so much.
Now here we are. Finally.
Yeah.
You actually, you went so far as to mail the book to me.
Yeah, I did. This was one of the very first books that I read when I got back into reading. And I liked it so much that I went out, bought a second copy, and mailed it to Hannah.
Yep. I love that copy. I cherish it.
Yeah. So, incredible book. It certainly left an impression on me, and even just about the author. Like, this book made me fall in love with V.E. Schwab, and now I've read 2 more books by her just this year. Oh no, Vicious was last year. I've read a book by her every year since reading this.
Actually, yeah. Okay, well, so what's next? A Darker Shade of Magic?
Probably, actually. I think I have it on Kindle.
I have a physical copy that was gifted to me. I just never read it because I never got into V.E. Schwab like until this year because
now.
Yeah, well, because everyone's been like, read V.E. Schwab. I'm like, okay. Jeez, like the requested reads and then the genre swap, like I had to get into it. But
yeah,
it was one of those things where like I just wasn't sure. Like I was on the fence and I was always seeing like mixed things about it, and so I just like I owned her books because like how could you not? But I like never actually like made the plunge until now, and she's become like one of my like favorite authors.
Yeah.
Like my favorite, like I love her writing style. She's brilliant. Have you ever watched an interview with her?
No, I haven't.
Okay, I've been seeing them everywhere. Like she's been doing a lot of like interviews with like influencers and stuff like that, but also just like she does a lot of interviews and stuff, and just the way that she speaks and the way that she like she's very well spoken, and you can tell that she's deeply passionate about what she does, and that she has such a like, and I say this with so much love, she has such a like twisty sort of mind. Like
she's got the dark and twisty.
She does. And so I love her. Like I love watching interviews with her, and I love like she always has such poignant things to say, and she's so on top of her craft, I would say. And so I'm glad that I've gotten into it. She just had another book come out, which is probably why I'm seeing her interviews everywhere all of a sudden.
Probably.
The newest book is like lesbian vampires type of a situation.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And the interviews about it are so good. And so I want to read that too. So it's just like, I'm just like on a V.E. Schwab kick this year.
Hell yeah. We love V.E. Schwab. And you know what? After just hearing that, I bet she'd like podcasts.
Yeah.
Just saying. Think about it.
Just saying, maybe.
Just saying. Okay. Just saying.
Maybe
it's an idea.
Maybe let's read A Darker Shade of Magic, and then we can see.
Okay, now we spin on it.
Yeah. All right, pinky promise. We're gonna shake on it.
Great. Perfect. There we go.
Yeah.
So, Addie LaRue.
Adeline
LaRue.
Do you have a description?
I can in 12 seconds.
Awesome. Okay.
Oh my god.
I'm going to edit that so it's exactly 12 seconds.
All right, and 12 seconds later, here we go. France, 1714. In a moment of desperation, a young woman takes a Faustian bargain to live forever. I might have said that wrong. I don't care, don't tell me if so. And is cursed to be forgotten by everyone she meets. Thus begins the extraordinary life of Addie LaRue, and a dazzling adventure that will play out across centuries and continents, across history and art, as a young woman learns how far she will go to leave her mark on the world. But everything changes when, after nearly 300 years, Addie stumbles across a young man in a hidden bookstore, and he remembers her name.
Ooh.
Ooh. So, essentially, this book, it's magical realism. It's kind of plausibly set in the real world. However, I think of him as like this devil demon character.
Mm-hmm.
I don't recall if it's like explicitly stated that he's a demon or whatever.
No, he's a god.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. The old gods.
Yes, the book opens with this sort of like inscription type of a thing. And this is what like I opened the book. I cracked open the book and read this and I was like, oof, that's V.E. Schwab. Because the book, like there's the dedication and then there's this inscription that says, "The old gods may be great, but they are neither kind nor merciful. They are fickle, unsteady as moonlight on water or shadows in a storm. If you insist on calling them, take heed. Be careful what you ask for, be willing to pay the price, and no matter how desperate or dire, never pray to the gods that answer after dark."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, shivers. Yeah, so guess what Addie did?
She for definitely prayed to the gods who answer after dark.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And they sure did answer.
And Luke sure did answer.
Yeah. So Luke, he is one of these old gods. He offers deals in exchange for souls. And so Addie's deal is she wanted freedom. She wanted to feel free. She wanted to be able to travel and, not have to live in 1724 France, which, fair, I wouldn't either. And so Luke goes, "Okay, girl, I got you. You can have your freedom. You can have freedom for as long as you want it. But when you're done with it, you are mine." And she went, "Okie dokie."
Okay.
Okay, that sounds cool.
Like, is Luke hot or something?
Like, yeah, he must be. He must be a smoke show.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, and of course, as we know, when making deals with, mystical beings, there's always going to be a loophole. And so Addie's loophole is that no one will remember her. If you're speaking to her, she leaves the room and comes back, that will be a completely different person in your brain. And so, yes, she's free. However, she can't lay down any roots. She can't have a place to live because the landlord won't remember her. She can't have a significant other. They won't remember her. She can't maintain friendships. None of it. And so she gets by out of spit and vinegar and a lot of spite. And I love that for her. I love it so much because Luke will check in and he'll go, "Hey girl, done with your soul yet?" And she goes, "I don't think I am." And he goes, "Okay, see you in a year or 10.
It's also just as we're talking about this, it's occurring to me that he is so obviously the devil, but he's referred to as a god. Like the old gods. And just of course, the religious dichotomy, of course,
Absolutely. Right? Yeah. Because of course.
Yeah. And because it's V.E. Schwab. And so I'm just thinking about that. And as you were talking, I'm like, oh my God, V.E. Schwab. But just the loneliness and the isolation, not being enough to kill her love for good food and good, life experiences and falling in love and, all of that, all of the, little things in life, the little human things were, enough for her to hang on and be like, "No, bestie, I won't be doing that, actually, because, this is still worth it, even though it's hard and it's, this heartbreaking isolation. It's full, complete isolation. And I like that the book is sort of an examination of what that does to a person. Because when you think about it, there was no way that wasn't going to backfire on Luke. Because, she wanted her freedom so that she could, live this full life, basically. And he tried to take it from her. And so after almost 300 years of isolation, of course she's going to do anything to hold on to the one person who remembers her.
Mm-hmm.
Of course that was going to backfire. Like, there's no way.
Yeah. Okay. This whole, contrast of the two deals that Luke made with Addie and Henry. Henry is our other sort of main character who Addie meets at a bookstore because, of course, and being, the person that Addie is without being able to have a job because obvious reasons, she will just sneak out of a place really quick with whatever she wants because, they're not going to remember her. And so she tries doing that with a book. Except when Henry follows her outside, he still knows who the fuck she is. And wild, obviously. Yeah, straight up, this whole episode is spoilers.
For sure. For real.
For sure. So many spoilers. Because my disclaimer is that I actually read this book about 2.5 years ago. And I did not do a reread for this episode. I just read a thorough plot summary. So I'm remembering this book as a whole and not as a timeline within the book. So I do apologize for that. However, Henry, his curse, oh my God, the way that his curse and Addie's kind of, I almost want to say worked together to fuck over Luke was beautiful. Okay. Brilliant. It is what made me fall in love with V.E. Schwab. I was so genuinely impressed because Henry, he just wanted to feel loved and appreciated by those around him. And so in exchange for that, for 1 year, everyone will, fawn over him. They'll be they'll want to spend time with him. They're super interested in him for this 1 year until he gives his soul to Luke. However, to make these people, feel that way about him, they are just seeing what they want to see in Henry. So if they want to see him as this, great friend, that's what this curse is making them see him as. And so they aren't actually seeing Henry for who Henry is. And so all Addie wants is someone to know her. That's it. That she just wants to be remembered by someone. And so that's what she wants from Henry. And so it is a catch-22 with her own curse, and voila. Isn't that fucking brilliant?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So that alone, oh my God, that is what put this book on the map for me. It's what really center staged V.E. Schwab because, oh my God. And, all of the scenes in between as well. The boardwalk with the fun house and the mirrors. Oh my God, that was magical. And so yeah, just the contrast between the two and how, they really work together to just really kick Luke because all he wants is to make people feel isolated and alone and they have no one in the world to lean on. And he tried to do that to both of these people and then fucked up so badly that they had each other. And that was great. The dramatic irony, beautiful.
Especially because he orchestrated for them to meet in the first place.
Yeah.
He really just did this to himself because he himself did not have faith in humanity and in the little things in life and the little joy and the power of that kind of hope. Mm-hmm. He did not have faith in that. So that's why that was ultimately his downfall, because he didn't realize that people would be capable of so much hope and so much love and enjoyment under the circumstances that Addie and Henry are under, because he just couldn't fathom that, fickle little human beings could be so powerful. And I think honestly that's what makes human beings powerful and what sets us apart from, like, you know, the animal kingdom, in my opinion. And so to see that, like, just so thoroughly imbued in the story is really, really beautiful. Because also I think that it just, like, speaks to me a little bit specifically, because that's like my whole philosophy is that, like, you know, stuff is difficult, but it's all part of the human experience. And, you know, the little things are worth it, you know, catching a sunset, laughing with a friend, like they're all worth it, you know, even if you are alone. And so I liked that aspect of it, of like that they were able to, obviously things got better and were different after Addie and Henry met, but even before then, like, she's still carrying on. She easily could have just, like, for 300 years, she easily could have just been like, no, I'm done. Like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Like, this isn't worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she could have cashed in at any point.
Yeah. And she didn't. And I think that that's so strong and so powerful.
Yeah. The perseverance.
Yes, exactly. And I think that in general, and what I think also that this book sort of, I don't know how to say, like, exemplifies or, like, gives the impression of this feeling of, like, being soft and being joyful and being curious and open is, like, one of the greatest forms of rebellion. And I love that.
I love it. I love thriving in spite of someone else. And just be like, you know what? I'm going to do great and you're going to suck it because of that. Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah. And I love like you were saying, about Luke earlier, about how he just wants everyone to be isolated and alone. And he wants everyone to wither away. Like, you said that, and I'm not even kidding. I was raised in the church. I have heard those words verbatim used to describe the devil. And the fact that he's never called a devil, he's just called a god.
Not once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
not all gods are good.
Yeah, like there is something there. Like, there's an acknowledgement of power, I feel.
I think so too. I think not calling him a devil is very on purpose.
Yeah. I feel like there's, like, something to that. And it's just first thing in the morning, so I'm not I'm not getting it. I'm not getting the words exactly. But, like,
we'll read those 2 books and then we'll ask her.
Yeah. Be like, hey girl. Well, no, because I'm sensing a theme here, like in V. Schwab's writing. And like, in terms of the religious aspects of things, and also that like sort of contrast and juxtaposition of the way that stuff fits together. And, like, she's the queen of character foils.
Absolutely. You should read Gallant. Oh my god.
Yeah, I haven't read it.
Oh,
I should.
Gallant is so good.
Yeah. And it's just so, her writing in these books is just so delicious. Like, do you know what I mean? It
is delicious.
It's delicious.
Yes. I just want to eat it up.
It's heart aching. Like, it just absolutely, like, but it's not in, like, a rip your heart out, stomp on it, and then put it back, like, better kind of a way. It's in, like, a, oh my god, you're a genius kind of a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think about Addie's impact on art throughout history?
Oh my gosh, that was so fascinating.
Wasn't it?
That was, like, the best.
All these portraits with 7 freckles.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah.
She found a way. She found
did.
A way.
She found a way to impact those around her.
Yeah.
Even if it meant just sitting in a room for an hour or 2.
Yeah. It also speaks to art, like the immortalization of art, and how, like, art's really the only way to do that in that way.
Yeah. I thought that was an incredible little tidbit that, you know, not every author would have thought of either. That didn't need to be included, but it added so much
Yeah.
Because it was, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think honestly, it was just a little love letter to art.
It was. And it wasn't even like a main point at all. It just like kept popping up here and there that there's these portraits that, you know, one's from like 1790, one's from 1820, one's from 1874. Those are all just years I'm pulling out of my butt. But the fact is that, you know, those are like 50 years apart, and the women in the photos all look just like Addie.
Oh, chills. And then the way that Henry like gathered all of her stories.
Yes.
Even
Oh
after
my God.
he like.
Yeah, because he can write her dictation, but if Addie is to write something, that leaves a trace. And so every time she writes something, it disappears. But she can tell her story and he can write it out. And that was wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because he publishes the book after he loses her, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think at the end, she meets Henry right before his 1 year is up on his curse. And if I'm recalling correctly, Addie essentially goes, hey, I'll cash in my curse if you take back his. Yeah.
Which is
and,
like,
oh my God.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know. When I first read this book, my review on it, because it was still trending when I read it. It was the very first time I read a book while it was actively trending. It was a little weird. But there was a really big debate over whether this book was good or not. And so
I recall that. That's why I didn't read it when it was trending. And I was unsure of V.E. Schwab.
There was a really big debate. People weren't certain on where anyone stood on this book. And so I just went, fuck it, my turn. And I obviously fell in love with it. When I had first reviewed this book, I wrote that, yes, it's magical realism. Yes, it's, this and that. But at its base, this book is just about connections. Like just enjoying those connections and preserving them and putting, the effort into them that they deserve. And, even if it's just one person out there that gets you and sees you, that's enough.
Oh.
So I really liked that. Yeah, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think, honestly, this book for me, I think that Vicious will always have a special place in my heart when it comes to V.E. Schwab's books, because that was my first experience of whoa, reading her writing.
This is that for me.
Yeah, but this is this one, I don't think it's as highly rated for me as Vicious was. It's not so instantaneous, but it's still I really loved this. And like you said, it's about connections, and it's about and also the lack thereof, and the ways that hope in humanity can't be killed, but it does get exponentially more hopeful when you have someone to share it with. And I like that a lot. I feel like I'm very no brain right now. I'm so sorry. But just the there's just so much. This is the effect of V.E. Schwab, right? There's just so much.
Leaves you speechless.
Yeah.
Which is great for podcasting.
For sure. But there's the thing about the gods and the art and the isolation, and Luke's character is fascinating.
For real. Yeah.
A flawed god, modeled obviously after the devil, who he himself has absolutely no hope, and so he feels the need to just steal it from everybody else. What is that about?
Addie's affair with Luke?
Crazy.
Oh my God.
But it's almost like a Stockholm Syndrome situation.
That's exactly what I thought. Yeah. Where she's you're the only person that will remember me, so
I guess
might as well. And that happened for a couple years, I think. I don't even know.
No, it was a while.
It was a while. Yeah.
But then, because they'd been living together, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And honestly, that makes me feel a little bit bad, because he had, lost all hope. and then started this affair with Addie.
In hopes of, like, getting her to give in.
Yeah, getting her to give in, but also I think a little bit for him. Like, selfishly. Like, he wanted, like, deep down somewhere, I think Luke just wanted a connection too.
He didn't realize how not fun it is to be isolated.
Yeah.
But still wouldn't admit it to himself.
Yeah, and so he ended up, like, trying to destroy these people's lives. Because he just he couldn't let her go.
Yeah.
Even this devil god creature character deep down just wants, I think, at least my interpretation is that, like, you know, he just, once he got a taste of it with Addie, because of this very unique situation that he's put them both in, he got a taste of it when, you know, he's never had that before, and then just, like, short-circuited and went off the rails because it started slipping away from him as he started to understand, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. Luke is probably the most human god I've ever read, where it's like he's holding on to his power and whatnot, but it's like he doesn't realize and, like, won't face the fact that, you know, he is. It's like he won't admit that, you know, he is the product of what he creates, whether he likes it or not. Like, he's purposefully going out of his way to make all these people isolated. And yet, you know, there he is, the only god that is, you know, he isn't just alone himself. And so I do think you're right. I think that was a really good analysis in that way, because, you know, he's doing this all in exchange for the souls. And it's just like, okay, but what are you doing with them once you have them?
He doesn't want to be alone.
Yeah. It's his special interest. He collects. He collects.
No. We in the neurodivergent community do not claim Luke.
No.
But, yeah, like, that's why I find his character really fascinating. And also, like you said, he's, like, the most human god. He honestly reminds me of Milton's Satan from Paradise Lost, because that's exactly how Milton's Satan is. And he's, like, painted, like, his character is sort of ever changing in a way that, like, sometimes he even comes across as a hero. Like, sometimes he's just as changeable and malleable, and also just at his core just desiring something of his own in space and connection, but also he, for some reason in his nature, is not capable of, because he's not human. That's the thing. It's like he's very human, but he's not human, and so unfortunately he cannot have the human experience.
And even, like, goes out of his way at one point to show Addie that he's like, you know what? I'm not like you. I'm not a human. Suck my dick. And so, like, he takes her to Beethoven's house, and he's like, hey, we're going to go see this guy. You're just going to tag along and watch. And so they go meet Beethoven, the Ludwig van, and Beethoven is, like, begging with Luke, and he's going, please, I'll make another deal with you, just give me a little more time. And Luke just shuts him down, and he goes, no, you're done. And Addie just has to watch. And so it's like, it's almost like he's aware subconsciously, but he'll never admit it to himself.
And that's ultimately is his undoing. But also, like, his character is kind of tragic.
It is.
In a way that's, like, kind of satisfying, but also, like, this is why it reminds me of Milton's Satan, because by the end of Paradise Lost, you want to feel bad for Satan.
Interesting. Yeah, you pity him a little.
Which is such a slap in the face to a character like him.
Yeah, because he's not a pitiable, you know, being, but that would probably piss him off the most.
Yeah, so that's why it, like, sort of struck me in that way, I think, as well, because I've, like, seen that before. But he's never called the devil.
Not once.
He's a god, which, you know, Satan was originally an angel.
Also, I love that Addie and Henry's cat is named Book.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Isn't that fantastic?
Book.
Book is the real hero.
Actually, scrap everything we just said. Book is the real
Yeah.
protagonist.
Yeah. Book is the main character. This is Book's world. Addie's just living in it. This book is really about Book.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. Like, I like to. You mentioned Addie and Henry, and I was thinking about their curses again. It's interesting how Addie will never be remembered, and that's why she is isolated. And Henry is always remembered and adored, but he's still isolated. Like, that was interesting too. It felt like a point, like making a point of like, even if you're adored, you can still be completely alone.
V.E. Schwab just loves doing that too.
I know.
With like the black and white, the yin and the yang.
Yeah.
Like Vicious was just like that too.
Yeah.
Where, between Eli and Victor, that was like the same contrast there. Oh my God. Victoria Elizabeth Schwab. Ah! Yeah. Oh my God. I feel like we've had a breakthrough. Oh my God, Gallant is like that too, because they've got the house on the right side, and then they've got like the backwards house.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I feel like I've cracked a code.
I know. Like, I feel like normally with requested reads, I'll like make notes and have highlights and have a whole thing. This one I've just gone in, like I literally came in here and I sat down and I was like, well, let's just talk about this. So this is like unraveling like and I like just was reading it. And so like it's like unraveling as I'm talking about it. I feel like I'm processing, and then the more I'm realizing, I'm like, oh shit, like that's insane.
Shit.
Oh
I know.
my God.
Yeah, I feel like this one wasn't even only Addie LaRue. I feel like we just cracked something about Schwab as an author. Because, yeah, that is consistent in every book of hers that I've read.
Yeah.
Huh.
Like
Wow.
that balance and that dichotomy. And I think that's why there's something so satisfying about her writing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
I also like when I was watching an interview where she was talking about her newest book, I learned that she has like a master's degree in like representations of women as monsters kind of a thing.
Oh, yeah, she is educated.
Yeah. But like that makes so much sense. And,
Doesn't it?
And like I'm really like fascinated by that. That's why I'm so interested to read her newest book as well, because I just think that she's like the way that she does this stuff and the way that she's so consistent is amazing. And I'm honestly shocked that she's not bigger than she is.
Agreed, to be honest. I feel like she will be one day. I feel like in 30 years, when we're looking back at like, these quote unquote modern writers, I feel like V.E. Schwab will be a pretty prominent name on that list.
Yeah, I would think so. Because like, I honestly would say Vicious is like a modern classic.
Agree. Yeah.
It's so good. Yeah. And she, like, the magical realism.
Oh, she is a queen
brilliant, especially in Addie LaRue.
Yeah.
Like she took concepts that like we've all seen, like the deal with the devil kind of a thing, and she fully
interwove it into like plausible reality.
Yeah.
So well.
Yeah, it keeps magic alive a little.
It does. It really does. And like, next time you see someone with freckles, you're definitely going to count them. Like,
yeah. Yeah, it keeps magic alive. The way that, obviously it's a fictional novel, but the way that she has these aspects sort of like interwoven in like that. And her books are also like, in this book too, is very deeply grounded, like especially in like art history and these like Beethoven and the artists and like the different things in history. It's like deeply grounded in reality.
Yeah.
But it's also magical.
Yeah. It's very healing for the inner child like that. Like every time I read V.E. Schwab, I feel like I'm at my, you know how everyone is at their reading prime when they're like 13 and can read like 250 pages in like 3 hours?
Yeah.
That's how V.E. Schwab makes me feel again.
Wow.
Yeah. Isn't that great?
She, honestly, when I read her books, it reminds me why I fell in love with literature and the study of literature in the first place.
There we go.
That's what it is. This is what it's all about. That sort of ordinary magic. an ordinary hope.
Ordinary magic. I feel like that is definitely something that, V.E. Schwab really exemplifies in her books. Because, like we've said, it's plausibly set in our society and our history.
Like Addie LaRue is entirely about our history.
Yeah, and
our future.
Yeah,
our history.
Oh my
and our
God.
future, and the way that these things all transcend time. Like all of these themes and stuff we've been talking about. It all transcends time.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
She's just a genius. Need we say it again?
Yeah. I hope someone read along with this.
I hope so too. I guarantee that at least 2 of our listeners have read this book. I'm don't know where I'm getting that number from, but I am very confident in it. I feel like if you haven't read V.E. Schwab yet, I truly believe that you're missing out, because every book is a banger. There's the contrasts, between fiction to reality. There's, the narratives on, the religion and the hierarchy behind that. And overall, it's just a really good time. I have never had one of her books be below, I think, 4.5 stars. And that's just because I'm not 100% certain that I've rated every single one 5, but I've rated it at least very close.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like this one I don't think was like a full 5 for me. Because, I don't know, maybe it's just because, like, Vicious is, like, so, like, But it's definitely, like mid to high 4-star somewhere in there. For sure. I haven't had time to process it and decide on a rating yet, so. I'm still thinking about it. But it did something.
Oh, yeah. Makes you feel, doesn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So, this is definitely more of just, like, a vibes episode. We hope that, of course, you've enjoyed and have understood at least a little bit of what we've been yapping about, because otherwise, basically, TLDR, too long, didn't read. Addie LaRue, fucking amazing. V.E. Schwab, god tier writer.
Genius.
Us, perished. So, yeah, do you have any final thoughts?
I just wow, I feel like you ever are in you ever go to the movies and you watch something just so amazing, and then you end up just sitting there through the whole credits, just not knowing what to do with yourself.
Yeah.
That's how I feel, and I feel like that's come across. I'm so sorry, but I just
She's in shock.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, thanks, Allison.
Yeah, thank you so much, Allison. This was an excellent recommendation. Mm-hmm. We're very glad. And we would love more requests. We have been doing pretty good at 1 a month for our requested reads. And honestly, they're kind of the most fun assigned reading for the pod. At least I think. I've been having a lot of fun with it. You guys have great taste.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah. So, yeah, feel free to message us on Instagram or Threads at badlyannotatedpod, or you can email us your recommendations at badlyannotatedpod@gmail.com. And all of our links are available through the link in our Instagram bio. And with that, magical wishes, kindest regards.
Sincerely, Jess and Hannah.